Good morning, dear students. I am Miss Islam Hamidan. I hope you are all well. Today we are going to complete discussing our unit, which is Unit 8. We are going to start with the articles. I am working in your student book on page 71, and we are going to work in your workbook on page 64. And don't forget to do your worksheet in your English booklet, worksheet number 6. So today we are going to start with the articles. In English, we have two types of the articles. All the articles that we have in English are the, a, and a. These are the articles that we have in English. These articles are divided into two sections. We have the definite article and indefinite articles. The definite article is, or I use this definite article when I am talking about something in particular, something which is specific. And I use the indefinite articles when I am talking about something in general. So, the articles, the article which is a definite article, it is the, and the indefinite articles are a and an. So during this class, we are going to differentiate between the, a, and an, when to use each article and with which nouns. Okay, pause. So first of all, we are going to start with the definite article, which is the. When do we use the definite article the? When we are talking about one thing in particular. So when we are talking about a specific thing, we are going to use that. You know the thing already, so you have to use that. So it is a particular thing. And with countable and uncountable nouns. So we use the article the with countable and uncountable nouns. And the last usage is when we mention the thing again. So when you are writing a paragraph and you're talking about things, you mention the thing. Again, you are going to use that. Let's take a look at these examples. The first example is the capital of Brazil is Brasilia. So in this example, miss, we are talking about a certain capital, which is the capital of Brazil. So I am talking about a particular capital, which is the capital of Brazil, and it is Brasilia. The other example, look, I found the same teddy bear I had when I was a baby. So we are talking also about a particular teddy bear, which the girl or the one who is talking had when she was a baby. The third example, have you seen the car keys? And also I am talking about a particular keys, which is the car keys. Now, the fourth example, the president of Brasilia is a woman. So I am talking about a particular president, which is the president of what? Of Brazil. Could you open the windows when you arrive at the house? And also here in this example, I am talking about certain windows and particular windows, and that's why I have used the article that, which are the windows of what? Of the house. I bought the coffee that we saw at the supermarket, and I am talking about, I use the article that because I am talking about a certain coffee that they saw at the supermarket. So these are the usage of the article that. So we use that when we are talking about a particular thing. It is used with countable and uncountable nouns, or when we are mentioning the thing again. So for example here, we have teddy bear, it is a countable noun. Coffee, it is an uncountable noun. This is all for the article that. Now we are going to move to the article a and an. The second type of articles, which are the indefinite articles, are a and an. When do I use a or an in a sentence? I use them first when we are talking about one thing in general. So I am not talking about a specific thing. I am talking about the thing in general. Number two, with singular countable nouns only. So please students, pay attention that I use the articles a and an with the singular countable nouns only. The noun should be singular and countable, so I can use a or an with. And number three, when we mention the thing for the first time, when I am talking about a thing for the first time, you should use a or an. So these are the uses of the articles a and. And now let's take a look at these examples. Layla was born in a town in Japan. I have used a because I'm not talking about a particular town. I don't know in which town, but all I know that it is a town in Japan. So I am talking about the town in general. I don't have a particular town. Number 2, I sometimes have an egg and a cup of tea for breakfast. So I am talking about the eggs and the cup of tea and general, and pay attention that town is singular and a countable noun. Egg and cup of tea, they are countable singular nouns. Number 3, let's watch a movie. So the noun movie, it is countable and singular noun, and that's why I have used a. What's the difference between a and? This is what we are going to figure out in the next slide. The next example is I need a new laptop. Mine is too old. So I have used the article a, new laptop. Laptop, it is a singular and countable noun. Do you have a car? So I am not talking about a specific car. I'm talking about cars in general. So I have car. It is a countable and singular noun. And that's why I have used a and in all the sentences. So if you pay attention to the all sentences, I am talking about one thing in general. All the nouns are singular countable nouns, and also we have mentioned the thing for the first time. So I have mentioned town for the first time, a cup of tea, movie for the first time. Now, to differentiate between a and an, when to use a and when to use an, for this is what we are going to figure in the next slide. Now, to differentiate between a and an, we have list of we have this table to discuss. So first of all, we are going to talk about an. And the indefinite article an is used before singular countable nouns that start with a vowel. We all know that letters in English are divided into consonants and vowels. And the vowels in English are O, E, I, U, A. These are the 5 vowels that we have in English. So, before any singular countable noun that starts with O, E, I, U, A, you have to use an. So let's take a look at these examples. We went to an Italian restaurant. So, Italian restaurant, it is a singular countable noun. Italian starts with I, so I have used the article an because I, it is one of the English vowels. The next example, she eats an apple every morning. So I have apple, it is a noun and it is singular and countable nouns because I can say apple, apples, it has a plural form, and it starts with what? It starts with a, and a is one of the vowels in English, and that's why I have used an. So when do I use an? I use an before singular countable nouns that start with a vowel, and the vowels are O, E, I, U, and A. Please, students, while I am explaining, I hope that you write notes on your notebook. Now let's move to an. When do I use an? The indefinite article a is used before singular countable nouns that starts with a consonant. So an is used for nouns that starts with a vowel, and a is used with nouns that starts with a consonant. Consonants, any other letter in English except the vowels. So I can say consonants. We have F, M, N, Z, all the other letters except what? The vowels. These are the consonants. So let's take a look at the examples and discuss them together. I found a book on the table. So I have used a because the noun that I have, it is book. It starts with a consonant, and that's why I have to use the article a. Now, another example, we are going to complete it together. They made a short film. So, I have used the article a because the noun that I have starts, or the adjective that I have starts with S, which is what? A consonant, and that's why I am going to use A. This is it for our lesson. Now, I have a few notes, and I hope that you take these notes for consideration. For each rule in English, we have exceptions, and these notes that we are going to discuss together are included with these exceptions. Stay with me while I am moving to the next slide. I have two notes for you, and I want you to take notice or to take these two notes into consideration. So, the two notes I have, they are depending on the sound of the letter. So, this is what we are going to discuss in these two notes. The first note says, some words that begin with the letter U, they begin with the letter U, do not start with a vowel sound. So, I am talking about the vowel sound. They start with a Y sound. We use a with these words. So, when the word starts with the letter U, but we do not pronounce the U as a sound of a vowel, but we pronounce it as Y. Okay? So, let's take these examples. First of all, a useful book. I did not pronounce the U as a umbrella. I pronounce it as U. So, a useful book. So, whenever the sound of the U is not a vowel sound, it is U. U. A useful book. I should use a before the noun. Another example, we have university. U. Not a, not umbrella. It is U. University. So, I have to use a. So, you have to pay attention to the sound of the letter U. If it is a vowel sound like umbrella, you have to use an. If the sound is U, like useful book, university, you have to use a, because we are talking about the sound U and then the sound of the vowel a. This is for the first note. The second note, some words that start with the silent letter H and start with a vowel sound, they start with a O sound. We use an with these words. So, if I have a word that starts with a silent H, okay, like honest and hour, okay, these words, if you pay attention, I don't have the H is silent, okay, so I don't pronounce the letter H when I pronounce it. So I don't say an honest man, I say an honest man. It starts with the sound of the O, an honest man, and I have also an hour. Why did I use an? Because the word starts with a sound of a vowel. Why did I use an? Because the word starts with a sound of a vowel, which is the A. So I have an honest man and I have an hour. Pay attention that the word starts with E, silent H, and it starts in the sounds. It starts with what? A sound of a vowel, which is the A. So I say an honest man, an hour. I hope that everything is clear for you. Now we are going to do a few practice together. Okay? Okay, students, now we are going to practice the rule that we are talking about during this class. So I am working in your workbook on page 64. I'm going to start with exercise 2. This exercise or this question says, complete the table with the words in the box. So I have these words in the box and I am going to classify these words into words that work with the article a and words that are working with the article an. Pay attention that we said before that a is used with singular countable nouns that starts with a consonant, and an is used with singular countable nouns that starts with a vowel. So all the nouns that we have here are countable, singular nouns. So all of the nouns are countable singular nouns. We have animal, egg, exam, hour, house, onion, opinion, potato, salad, and university. We are going to start from here. First of all, the first word is already done. We have animal. It starts with a vowel, and that's why I have to use an. The next word is egg. Pay attention that egg starts with an E. So E, it is a vowel. So I am going to say an egg. Okay? Then we have the word exam. And also it starts with what? It starts with E, which is a vowel. So I am going to say an exam. Next, I have hour. Hour. Do you remember the words that we said that they start with a silent H and they start with a vowel sound? So I'm going to say excellent and hour. Then I have house. House. I have the consonant H and I pronounce it as house. So I'm going to say a house. Then I have onion. Onion, it starts with O and with a sound of a vowel, which is a, onion. So I'm going to say an onion. Next, I have opinion. And also it starts with what? With O. So we are going to say an opinion. Next, I have potato. It starts with P. So it is a consonant. A potato. I have salad, and you are right. It starts with S, and the S is a consonant, so I'm going to say a salad. And at the end, I have university, so I'm going to say a university. This is it for exercise number 2. Okay, now I move to exercise number 4. We have to complete the text with a or an. Let's read together. Last weekend, we went for dinner at, we have space, Italian. So Italian starts with an I, excellent, and it is a vowel. So I am going to say an Italian restaurant. I had mushroom pizza. So we have mushroom. It starts with a consonant, which is the M. So I am going to use a excellent. So I have a mushroom pizza. Terry ordered space egg salad. So I have E, and you are right. It is a vowel. So I am going to use an. So Terry ordered an egg salad. We waited for hour before. So I have hour. Hour. The H is silent and the words start with the vowel, with the sound of the vowel, hour. So I have to use an hour. So we waited for an hour before our food arrived. The waiter brought chicken salad for Terry. So he brought a excellent because chicken starts with C, and we are talking about chicken salad for the first time, and that's why we are talking about the things, for the first time, and that's why we are using a or an. So, brought a chicken salad for Terry. He brought me, I have E, enormous, so I'm going to use an enormous bowl of pasta instead of pizza. But we were hungry, so we did not say anything. This is for exercise number 4. Now, let me go to another exercise. I am moving to exercise 6. Okay? We are going to do the exercise together. Now, in exercise 6, in exercise number 6, as I told you, we are going to write an or the, and if the sentence is correct without any articles, we are going to write what a tick beside the sentence. Number 1, so it is a mini dialogue, so it's a conversation between two people. A, should we take bus? So we should use excellent. Should we take a bus? No, let's go by, I'm talking about a certain car, a particular car. So let's go buy the car. Number 2, I am hungry. Let's have a lunch. And lunch or the lunch now? No, I'm not going to use any articles. So the sentence is correct. I'm going to say, I am hungry. Let's have lunch now with no articles. It is correct. Now, let's go to B. Okay, we can have sandwich at home. So we can have a sandwich at home because it is sandwich, it is a singular countable noun. Now, let's move to 3. We don't have to go to school today. So, what do you think? I'm going to use an article. Excellent. I'm not going to use an article. It is okay to not use the article with school today. So, we don't have to go to school today. Let's move to the next B. Great. Let's go to cinema. So, we are going to say let's go to the cinema. Excellent. Because I'm not talking about a particular cinema. I'm talking about cinemas in general. And I have used the article the cinema. Okay, let's move to number 4. Can I watch DVD? So what are we going to use? Are we going to use any articles? No, it is correct. So we say it is good to say can I watch DVD with using no articles. B, no, you can't. I am listening to radio. So I'm going to say I'm listening to the I'm listening to the radio. Now, let's move to 5. Number 5, does your sister work during day? So I am going to use which article? The. Excellent. So, does your sister work during the day? No, she works at what? At night. I'm going to use a or an. Am I going to use at night or at night? No, it is correct without no articles. Let's move to 6. Why did you go to work late yesterday? So, am I going to use any articles? No, I can't say why did you go to work or an work or the work. So, it is correct without any articles. B. Because I went to doctors in the morning. Because I went to the doctors in the morning. 7. Do you want to play tennis this afternoon? So, do you want to play at tennis or an tennis? No, it is not correct. So, I'm going to leave the sentence with no articles. B. I am going to university. With university also, I'm not going to use articles. So, I can say to an university or to a university. 8, which is the last one. Do you want snack? I'm going to use a snack. And 8, yes please, I would like, it starts with a vowel, pay attention, excellent. So I am going to use one and an. This is it for the rule of the articles. I hope that you do your homework during the weekend, which is in your English worksheet booklet, worksheet number 6, with the title Articles. It is in your English booklet, worksheet number 6, with the title Articles. I want you to practice more so you can use the structure correctly. This is the end of our grammar class. I hope that you enjoyed and I hope that you can understand and use the articles correctly. Thank you. Good morning, dear students. I hope you are all fine. We are going to complete working with Unit 8. Today we are going to discuss the writing topic. So I am working in your student book on page 72. In your student's book on page 72, and we are going to work on your workbook on page 65. So, in your student's book, page 72, and your workbook, page 65. So, to start with, I hope that you are following up with me. As you can see, what do we have here? It is talking about a restaurant which is called Taj Mahal restaurant. Traditional Indian food, set menu available, great value, 46 Market Street. So, it seems like what? It seems like excellent. You are right, it is an advertisement. Advertisement, it is a way for restaurants to let or to get the people a chance to know what do they serve, when do they open, the location of the restaurant. So, as a beginning, we have an advertisement for a restaurant which is called Taj Mahal Restaurant, and it serves traditional Indian food. We have a set menu available. It has a great value, and the location of this restaurant is in 46 Market Street. As you can see, around this advertisement, I have 3 questions, okay? This question says vegetarian dishes, and 2, how much, and we have an arrow goes to the set menu, and also the arrow here goes to the traditional food that they serve. Is there vegetarian? Are there vegetarian dishes? And also table for 10 Friday, table for 10 on Friday 14th. This is a number of people that are going to the restaurant, and we have the day and the date. In today's class, I'm going to teach you how to write a formal letter requesting for informations out of an advertisement. So, suppose you are planning to celebrate with your friends. For example, you have graduated from university and you want to invite your friends to a restaurant. You have the following advertisement, and you are going to ask questions about this advertisement, about the type of dishes that they serve. So, you have to write a formal letter. We said that we have 2 different ways for writing. We said that we can use an informal language and we can use a formal language. We discussed the informal language, and we said we use the informal language when you are talking with your friend, when you are sending a message to your friend, when you are sending a message to your mother, to your father, someone who is close to you. So we are going to use the informal language or the informal way of writing. But when you are sending a message to an owner of a restaurant, an owner of a company, you have to use the formal language. What do I mean by formal language? It is a polite language. No contractions are allowed, so you can't write "you are" like this in a formal message. You can't. Contractions are not allowed. You should write it in its full form, so you have to say "you are." Okay? We have to use polite way of asking questions, like using would. Would you tell me if? And we have also special phrases that I am going to introduce for you when I show you this sample. So, in today's class, I'm going to teach you how to write a formal letter requesting information. So, you are going to send a letter asking for more information. Stay with me. We are going to discuss this letter, which was written to the owner of Taj Mahal restaurant requesting for information. Now, I'm going to show you the sample of this formal letter, and we are going to discuss it together. So, as you can see, we or the writer starts the letter with "Dear Sir" or "Madam." So, the writer does not know the name of the owner, of the restaurant. So, we have started the message with the letter with "Dear Sir" or "Dear Madam," and they are followed by a comma. Let's complete the first paragraph. So, as you can see, the letter is divided into 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph says, "I am organizing a meal for a group of friends to celebrate the end of the the school year. So, the writer of the letter is organizing a meal for a group of what? For a group of friends. These friends are gathering to celebrate the end of the school year. They are celebrating the end of the school year. We would like to book, and don't forget that book here, it is a verb, okay? To book a table for 10. 10, this is the number of people that are coming to the meal. So, 10 for 10 people. On Friday, we have here the day, and we have what? The date. So, Friday is the day of the celebrate, and 14th of July is also the date. For 7 o'clock. So, on which time? At 7 what? O'clock. So, they are celebrating the end of the school year. We have 10 people on Friday, 14th of July at 7 o'clock. Could you please let me know if that is possible? So, this is the first information that the writer is asking for. So, is it available or is it possible to book a table for 10 on Friday, 14th of July for 7 o'clock? So, this is the first information that the writer is requesting for, which is, pay attention that we have used a polite way of asking for the information. So, we started, could you please let me know? We have this useful phrase, which is, could you please let me know? And then you can ask for the information. Let's move to the second paragraph. I have two further questions. So, he is requesting for more information. First, could you please let me know how much the set menu costs? So, also, they have used the useful phrase, which is, could you please let me know? So, this is also a useful phrase. This is the first one, and this is the second one. These are useful phrases that are used to ask for information in a formal letter. How much the set menu costs? So he is asking about the cost of the set menu. Secondly, the second information that they are asking for, could you please tell me? So they have used a third useful phrase, which is, could you tell me if? So this is 3. Could you please tell me if there is a good choice of vegetarian dishes? So he is asking for vegetarian food on the menu, as 2 of my friends do not eat meat or fish. So 2 of his friends do not eat meat or fish, and that's why he is requesting for what? For vegetarian dishes. Let's pay attention to the end of the message. Stay with me and pay attention to the end of the message. Let me just clear the board. So, how did he finish, or she did finish the formal letter? So, it was finished by, I look forward to hearing from you. So, you have to tell the person that you are waiting for their response. So, you have sent the message and you are waiting for the response, and that's why you have to write, I look forward to hearing from you. This is another useful phrase that is used to end your letter with. Number 2, we have yours faithfully, and don't forget that we have a comma. Yours faithfully. And at the end, you have to write your name. So, the formal letter was started by So, the formal letter, as you can see, we have a form of a letter. So, the letter was started with what? It was started with Dear Sir or Madam, and then at the beginning of the paragraph you should write, what are you doing? You are celebrating what, or why are you coming to the shop or to the restaurant? Then you have to specify how many people are coming, on which day, date, and you have to mention what, the time. Then you have to ask if this is possible, if it is possible to book this table. In the second paragraph, they asked for further information, for more information. So don't forget that we have used the useful phrases, which are, could you please let me know, or could you please tell me if. So you can use these phrases to ask for useful information, and it was end with, finished with. I look forward to hearing from you, which means that we are waiting for a response. You're faithfully, and at the end you have to write your name. Stop. Okay, so now we are going to complete. I want you to pay attention to this writing tip. Starting and ending a formal letter. How do we start a formal letter and how do we end a formal letter? And as we discussed in the form, on the sample that was shown to you on the board, we started the letter with what? We started the letter with dear, okay? So we started the letter with dear Mr. Jones, if you know the name of the person, and if you don't know, the name of the person, you can say dear sir or madam. Just let me make it bigger, so you can follow up in your box, please. So we were talking about how to start and how to answer a formal letter. So we said that to start a letter, you can start it with dear Mr. Jones, if you know the name of the person you are writing to. So if you know the name of the person that you are writing to, you can use dear with the name of the person. If you don't know the name of the person, you can use dear sir or dear madam. And as I told you, if you don't know the name of the person. Now, if you want a reply, as I told you, we are waiting for a response or a reply for the message, you have to write, I look forward to hearing from you. So, if you are waiting for a reply, you are waiting for a response from the people that you are sending the message to, you have to write at the end of the message, I look forward to hearing from you, after the final paragraph, so at the end of the message. Finish the letter with your sincerely, if you use the person's name at the start. So, if you know the person's name at the start and you use dear Mr. Jones, for example, or dear Mr. Smith, you have to use your sincerely if you use the person's name. If you don't know the person's name, you have to use what? Your faithfully. So, as a reminder, if you know the name of the person, you have to use at the beginning of the letter dear. If you don't know the name of the... Okay, students, now after we discussed how to write a formal letter, it's your turn to try to write a formal letter. So, in your student book on page 72, you have this star which has the title Write. Now, the statement says, imagine you want to organize a meal out for yourself and a group of friends. So, you have to imagine that you are going out for a meal with a group of your friends. Look at the advertisement for a restaurant and the notes you have made. So, we have this advertisement for a restaurant, and here is the notes that you have made. So what you are going to do is to write a letter from 90 to 110 words to the restaurant following the writing plan. So here is the advertisement. So Stefano's, the name of the restaurant is Stefano's. They serve Italian food. You have a large choice of dishes, so you can choose anything you want. A great atmosphere, so the atmosphere of the restaurant is great, and the location is 22 High Street. So this is the advertisement, and here is what the notes. So the first note or the first information that you are going to ask is about the set menu, and the next information that you are going to ask for is open from. Now, to write, you have to follow this plan. To write a formal message correctly, you have to follow this plan. So, First of all, or in the first paragraph, so you are going to start your email with your letter with dear, sir, or madam. Then you are going on to write the first paragraph. In the first paragraph, you have to say how many people are coming to the meal, what the occasion is, why are you going, you are celebrating what, and the date and the time, check the availability. So you have to mention how many people are coming, why are you coming to the restaurant, you have to write the day, date, and the number of people, and don't forget to write the time, and then you have to ask for the availability. So you have to ask if it is possible to book this table. In paragraph number 2, request the 2 pieces of information in the notes. So in paragraph number 2, you are going to ask about the notes that you have made. You are going to ask about the set menu, if it is available, and when does the restaurant open. At the end of your letter, you should finish it with your faithfully. I look forward, because you have to ask for a reply. So you have to end your letter with I look forward to hearing from you, your faithfully, and at the end you have to write your name. For example, it is Islam, and 2 signs. So you have to start your message with dear, sir, or madam. Then in paragraph number 1, you are going to write the details of the people who are coming. So you are going to write how many people are coming, what the occasion is, why are you coming, and the date, time, and to ask for the availability. In paragraph number 2, you are going to ask for the piece of information. So I want to see this piece of writing, this formal letter, in your English notebook. So this is a homework. This is a homework to write a formal letter indicating this advertisement. Here is the plan that you are going to follow. Start your message with dear. This is what you are going to write in paragraph number 1, what you are going to write in paragraph number 2. Finish your letter with I look forward to hearing from you, and you can use your faithfully. And this is it for the writing class. I hope to see your homeworks in your English notebooks. Here is your homework in your student book on page 72, the exercise with title writing. And thank you.